Okay, so this is Lauren and Kat here with
Nathen Maxwell.
Nathen Maxwell of Flogging Molly.
Hey.
So first off, you've been with Flogging Molly since 94?
96.
96. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is it different than when you first started?
Well, it's different in a lot of ways. You know, we first started, we played a pub called Molly Malone's every Monday night, and we would just use the weekends to try to find any local gig we could, usually just at bars or house parties or whatever. And we would rehearse once a week or twice a week back then. And back then the band was developing. There was definitely a clear vision that Dave had and that we all shared. But we were in the process of forming, and now it's like we've realized that vision, and we're stretching out even beyond what we would have imagined we would have been doing, what I would imagine we would have been doing.
Yeah.
And it's pretty exciting.
So you've been a musician since you were like really young. I mean, how do you think your life's different than like the average guy in the street?
Well, I guess my life's maybe different than average because I'm blessed to be able to do what I love for a living, and I support my children by doing what I love. I was just actually with my nephew and my sister, and we were talking about it. It's like, she says, how do you manage working so much? Touring so much with Flogging Molly. You have another band. I have Bunny Gang, my other band, my family, and it's like the truth is, it's just that I don't really look at work as a separate thing. I just am myself. I love playing music, so I'm just being myself all the time, and I just, turns out that that's how I support myself as well.
So, can you talk a little bit about the Bunny Gang?
Absolutely.
So, what made you decide to start that?
Well, because it was just there's other music in me, I mean, Flogging Molly is my favorite band, and I've dedicated my life to Flogging Molly, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished, and I look forward to many more years of great times. But there's something inside of me that I needed to get out, and I would share the songs with the guys in Flogging Molly and Gal, and they all agreed. They said, Nate, you really have your own. Well, Dave told me, he said, you really have your own story, where you come from, and it's legit, and you really deserve to tell it like it is, and not have to put it into Flogging Molly. So that was like a blessing. It was like him saying, do it. So I said, right on. I did it, and I can't stop.
So how long has that been going on?
Well, I recorded the album in 2009, and over the last couple years, I've basically been in the process of putting a band together, and actually, I have a great band now, and I say Bunny Gang established 2012. The band really just formed. All the guys moved to Denver, where I live, and we've been playing locally, getting our chops up. We're going in the studio in April with Ryan Hewitt to record our first band full-length album, and we'll be touring, off of that pretty hard. So it's an exciting time right now with music for me.
Yeah. So, where's the best place that you ever played? Do you have a favorite venue? Do you have a favorite city?
Yeah, actually I do have a favorite venue. My favorite venue I ever played was Red Rocks in Denver, Colorado. Yeah, I mean, my hero, Bob Marley played there, and to share a stage with him was amazing. Beatles played there, U2. It's pretty legendary. And I actually went down to there's like a underground little walkway from the front of house to the backstage, and most of the artists that have played there for the last century have signed it, and Bob Marley's signature is there. For me, that's a pretty big deal.
Did you sign it too?
I did, next to his.
Oh.
Do you see yourself in Bob Marley? I mean, do you see parts of his work in what you do? Or?
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that he's inspired me and saved my life.
I was about to say, all those bands, those must be your
inspirations.
I mean,
Bob
for
Marley,
everything.
The Clash, Joe Strummer, Johnny Cash, all that music that's really lifted me out of dark places. I carry it with me, so I know that it comes across in the music. I mean, whether you hear it or not, I know it's there.
Yeah.
It's you can't run away. I don't think you should run from your influences.
Yeah.
Because even if you try to emulate somebody, you're never going to be somebody else. And just by you doing your version of that, it'll be its own thing.
I have a question.
Okay.
What is something that you wish interviewers would ask you that they never seem to, but you want to tell them?
Um, I appreciate interviewers that are engaged, that are actually involved with a conversation, and it flows organically into who knows where. I think it's just like any conversation. It's interesting when you don't necessarily premeditate what you're going to say. I never plan an interview. I never would. I just shoot from the cusp. So I just appreciate someone who's a good conversationalist and has an interesting point of view. And I don't have one answer.
So do you find interviews uncomfortable sometimes, just when they have like a list of questions?
Yeah, I find people can be uncomfortable. They're nervous. Sometimes they get nervous, and I find it a little bit irritating when I do an interview and people try to write down my responses, because I don't speak in texts, and I don't speak in perfect English. And if you're trying to jot down, you better be a fast writer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always just tell them, feel free to misquote.
Tell Lauren to use shorthand. I can't do that. No, forget that. Anything interesting happening going on tour? I know this is only your second day for 2012 tour.
Yeah.
The other tours you have done, anything?
Well, it's interesting because we just had the biggest break we've ever had. We took 2.5 months off from playing, which is for us is huge. So to be back, it's nice. It's like we're all kind of fresh, and we're approaching these songs. I mean, for me personally, these songs mean so much to me, and we're this year is the 10th anniversary of our record Drunken Lullabies, which is our second record. And these songs, we're playing some songs tonight that we haven't played in 10 years, and they're as relevant now as they were when we wrote them. So that's a good feeling, when a decade passes and the song has the same emotional impact or more so than it did. We're playing a Bob Dylan song, "The Times Are Changing," which that's a perfect example of a song that's relevant 50 years later, right? And that's a lot of fun. That came out on the Amnesty International Bob Dylan album. And yesterday I actually just saw on YouTube there's a music video someone made of us in the studio. I thought it was pretty cool. So you can check that out.
That's my next question. What interesting stuff have you gotten from fans? Anything good? Anything that's really touching maybe?
Yeah, people tell me some amazing things. A mother sent me pictures of her son's grave, and he passed away in the war, and he was a huge Flogging Molly fan, and so the family decided to put our image and our lyrics on his tombstone.
Oh, that's neat.
That was one of the most touching things that I've ever experienced. Just when people tell me, and they genuinely mean it, that our music matters and makes their life somehow a little bit better, that's the best gift I can get.
Excellent.
I know, like, when we have parties at our school, like, everybody will get together and do, like, Drunken Lullabies at one point, because everybody knows that song. Is there any, like, when you're doing a show, are there any times when you just feel like you have the whole audience with you like that? I mean...
Yeah, Drunken Lullabies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even more so. I mean, my favorite song, I mean, I love all the songs, and I have a different favorite song every other minute, but I think my favorite song of all time is called World Alive, If I Ever Leave This World Alive. Mm-hmm. And I plan on getting a tattoo of that soon, probably on this tour. And when I play that song, man, it's not just the people in the room that are there, it's everybody's there,
Awesome. How many tattoos is that? I don't know if that's personal. How many tattoos do you have?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't count anymore. Yeah.
Awesome. You just kind of get inspired, and then kind of like people write stuff down.
Yeah, I get inspired, and I mean, before I got my first tattoo, I knew I was going to be covered in them. So it wasn't a question of do I want tattoos. Like, yes, I do. So yeah, as I live and I get inspired to put something on my body, I just do it. It's I don't really worry too much about it, and I love my tattoos. I don't regret any of it.
Awesome. Why would you?
Yeah, I mean, my great uncle was in the Navy, and he had a huge eagle on his forearm. His whole forearm was just blotted to hell. You couldn't even tell what it is. It's a big black blotch. And I remember just growing up thinking that was the coolest fucking tattoo, and that's I have high respect for tattoo artists. And I really appreciate great tattoo work. And I also I love getting tattoos in a gutter, you know. I mean, not literally, but you know, at a house or a friend's house, just getting a shitty little tour tattoo. You know, I've tattooed my friends, they tattoo me. It's just like I kind of like the folk aspect of it all. You know, it's not about perfection.
Yeah.
You know?
Awesome.
Do you have a specific tattoo that means more to you than any other?
Well, they all really mean a lot. The one on my throat, you can't see it. It's in white ink. It means a lot to me. I went and we were in Japan, and I went and visited Ground Zero at Hiroshima, and that was really a very profound, heavy experience. So I wanted to get something to kind of symbolize that memory, that feeling. So it's an I Ching symbol for peace and harmony. And so I put it on my throat here, and I did it in white ink because it wasn't really for anybody else. It was for myself, and hopefully it'll guide my words a little better. You know, that means a lot. I got one love on my chest. That's my philosophy. Obviously, I learned that from Bob Marley, and yeah, I love all my tattoos.
So in traveling a lot, do you see a lot of different cool things like that? I mean, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of experience to see everything. Is there any place in particular? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big world, and there was one point I thought, God, I've been to so many places in the world, and I actually, there's like online you can punch in all the countries you've been to, and it tells you the percentage, and I think I've been to like 4% or so. You know what I mean? There's a big world, and it's a beautiful world, and I look forward to, you know, I'd like to go everywhere. It's one of my passions in life is travel and experience people and culture and places. The power of place is, I really believe in that. And I mean, the Hiroshima was in the top of the list of epic things, you know. But you know, there's so many beautiful places. I mean, just surfing off Waikiki. I mean, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? Hanging out on Mount Fuji, going to Niagara Falls. You know what I mean? I just get into it. You know, go to the Joshua Tree, Grand Canyon. You know, so many places.
So you said that you only your longest break, you know, has been about 2 months. Do you ever get time to go to other people's shows? I mean, do you like going to concerts?
Absolutely, and you know, this is like it's my life, it's my business. Most of my friends, except for the friends obviously I grew up with when I was a kid. Luckily, I'm in touch with most of them. Most of my friends, my real friends, they're in this same business. You know, most of my mates are in bands. You know, and so I always love going to see a friend play. You know, like whenever anyone rolls through Denver and I can get away, you know, of course I'm going to go see them. You know, hang out and support the music and just be around it. It's inspiring. You know, seeing what your friends are doing and seeing what just they don't have to be your friends either. Just to see music, you know, to see different kinds of music. And I mean, I'll go to any show. I'll check out anything. You know, I'm not a genre or scene specific kind of person. You know, I just want to see I want to see honest music. I don't even care if you can't play your instrument that well. I just want to, if you're giving it all you got, and if it's really coming from your soul, I'm gonna back it. I don't care the genre.
And can you tell when somebody is putting? I mean, can you tell the difference between somebody who's putting everything into it and somebody who's, you know, just there to play?
I think I can. Yeah, I've seen countless bands that just sucked crap, and it's just soulless and just feel like they're going through the motions. They're in it for maybe fame or money or I don't know what, but it doesn't move me. And you know, and maybe it's not fair. Maybe I just don't get it. I'll accept that. But you gotta move me. You know.
Yeah.
And there's no rules to how to move me, but you got to move me.
Do you think the rest of the band of Flogging Molly feels the same way you do? Do they put all of their soul into everything?
I would say absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what makes Flogging Molly so special is that you have 7 really different people. I mean, really different people, but we all come together for a common goal, and that's this band, this music. And I think that's a nice little microcosm of the world, you know.
This is your last day. Where are you at and what are you doing?
Playing music.
Playing music.
Who are you with?
Hopefully my kids.
All right.
Awesome.
Spoken by a true musician, playing music, last day on earth. And with family.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.